Hello, welcome to Tower. In this episode, I'm going to show you my Tamtec gear Porsche 911 and show you how I managed to make that body fit on an MF01X chassis all the way down to 190mm wheelbase. So today I've got a different car for you on the bench. This, as you might recognise, is a Porsche 911 or a 934 RSR. I guess it's one of Tamiya's most common, well-loved, etc. bodies. But what you might notice about this is it looks a little bit smaller than normal. It's running what some people might recognise as being M chassis wheels and tyres, and that is entirely true. You notice the absence of body post. Well, body post delete is quite common on cars anyway. But this is a little bit specialer than that. This is a Tamiya Tamtec gear Porsche body shell, but it's not running on the Tamtec gear chassis. This time round, it's running on an extra short wheelbase MF01X chassis. Extra short wheelbase? Yeah, this is 190mm between the wheels. And using an MF01X chassis, I'm running it in rear-wheel drive only, but I get to run completely rear motor and make it true to a Porsche 911. So how do we achieve body mount on this? The front end, because it's MF01X, we actually find we can use the Tamtec gear body mounting system. At the rear, we can't. There's no space around where the motor is. However, we've got some clip-on mounts inside the body shell there on the rear windscreen. Let me flip it over just to show you what I'm talking about. So here you can see body clips. We can take the body clips out for the removal of the body. So take the body off, and you can see from here this body mounting system and body posts on the inside of the body shell. At the rear we have these clips, and I'll show you the chassis itself as to how those clips are attached. So that's the Tamtec gear mounting at the front, and this custom extra one at the back there. So from the chassis side of things, for the body mount, let me look at it, so diddy. We've got these ones clipped. They go on somewhere near the original MF01X body post here. We've got this extra tiny stubby mount for those. You can see the chassis itself. I mean, it looks really, really short, and it is really short. We'll show you how that comes about by using standard Tamiya parts. And the other thing to go on here is it's actually really, really narrow. So I can't use the regular width retaining clips for the battery. This has been customed to allow me to have a shorty with as little offset as I can in terms of being able to get the battery posts out. But other than that, it's a standard MF01X. Just looking at it now, I can see some slight additional adjustment I did to the wishbones. You can see these blue spacers. Those are done to give me just the right amount of clearance in the wheels to get to where we need to get to. So there we have an MF01X taken apart, such that we would be able to adjust the overall wheelbase of it. Now, as it stands, you can't join the rear and front together as is. There's interconnecting blocks that are used to set the various wheelbases. If you look in the instruction manual, you'll see that it's possible to set between a short, medium and a long wheelbase, depending on which spaces are used and which combination of spaces are used. And between the 210 and 225 is a spacer that is 15mm in overall dimension. This is that spacer. So this spacer is supposed to be used in conjunction with some of the others to set the medium wheelbase. So this one can be stacked in amongst the other settings to be able to set to 225mm medium wheelbase. However, it's possible, given the nature of how these are designed and used, to use just this extender piece as if it were the baseline in the first place. And so if I press that into place on both ends, and you'll see I'll screw it later, but if you press it into place, you can see exactly where this 190mm comes from. That very shortest that's there primarily as an extender rather than a base setting, is enough to get you right down to 190mm overall wheelbase. So that's what we do. It's 8 screws, 4 on either side to be able to attach that together. So let's go ahead and do so. So there's the front end still. Here's the rear end with that single extension spacer applied and added to it. We can attach that in together with the front. Again, 4 screws to do so, and we have made a custom extra short wheelbase MF01X. And so that is the chassis entirely made for an MF01X done to 190mm wheelbase. Now you might look at this and say, well, hang about, we've cheated, we've failed to make it 4-wheel drive. And you are right, we have failed to make it 4-wheel drive. In this case, I have the covers on for the bevel gears. I don't have the bevel gears in there. It's a Porsche 911, it's supposed to be rear-wheel drive, and so the MF01X is purely chosen in this case as a convenient way of setting the right chassis length. If you did want to make it 4-wheel drive, you can take the original center shaft and cut it and re-drill the hole through the middle to get the length set right. Like I say, in my particular case, it's not necessary. The only other thing to bear in mind when making it for this particular body is it needs to be super narrow. And I believe if we look at the hubs, we'll see a small amount of adjustment that I've made to them to be able to make that work. In this case, we've had to narrow the front wheels. And so you can see here I've basically used a Dremel disc on the inside of the wheel there to effectively make the hex shallower than it should be. And the same on the hubs themselves, I'm using narrower hexes. That's all there is to it on this particular car. Narrow hexes wherever I needed them, I believe all round, but certainly it was at the front to get the clearance. So with those narrow hexes, I needed narrow mounted wheels, and so the best I can have for this particular style on the car is to just grind the inside away on these wheels. I'm using sweep tires on this one just because they give me a slightly lower profile than anything else available. So that's all. So to mount the body, we've got this Tamiya gear system we apply at the front. And then simply press down clicks on the clips on the rear, and it's mounted. And we can apply pins underneath to retain the front of the body shell, and we're good to go. There is my MF01X 190mm wheelbase.